You are smart and thoughtful and reasonable, and you really are just so fantastic. And you have never once given me any trouble about me manspreading you.
I don't really have a problem with it.
What is your legitimate problems? You say, well, what's one off the top of your head, if you could, an issue that we should be discussing between genders?
I think a real one that goes kind of less noticed is sometimes it is harder for if you're like a woman and more men around you and everyone's having conversations. Sometimes it can really be harder to be heard.
Yes, that's very true.
That's a real one that I've experienced. I don't know if it's like that for everyone.
I think that's a good generalization, and I found myself doing that to you because well, for whatever reason, I agree. I find myself frequently doing that and then having to consciously pull myself back.
Yeah. But also, you don't want to create an environment where people are like afraid to talk.
I think what it is just being conscientious.
Yeah.
You have to be, you're being more thoughtful.
Yeah.
Be more thoughtful of not just, I think, women, but people who are less assertive. I mean, women tend to be less assertive. I think that's why, and I think that'll piss off some feminists. But, I mean, I'm sorry. That's just, I feel like that's a biological.
It's just different. Women can be assertive, but
yeah, of
in a different way.
So, like you said, a lot of times they'll get drowned out in a conversation. Or I guess what people would say, maybe like Susan, the CEO of YouTube, would say is that men cutting her off a lot.
I'll give you another example. Sometimes when we both handle stuff like business-wise, I feel like if something came from you, people will take us more seriously versus if it came from me.
Well,
when it comes to negotiating or when it comes to like dealing with manufacturers abroad.
Well,
sometimes they even ask to talk to you when they don't even know that I'm more involved.
Yeah, we had partners in Pakistan who wouldn't even talk to Hila.
Yeah. So
that's fucked.
Well, because they didn't take her seriously. They would. But I told them they would email me, go around Hila, and I'd be like, talk to Hila.
Yeah.
I'd be like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, that's especially ironic. Just knowing you. I mean, Hila is extremely business savvy. Like that's really ridiculous that they will want to go around her.
But I see what you mean, and I think that's more of an issue of education. I think growing up, it helps to teach young boys like that. Even more than just literally sitting down and being like, son, you have to remember,
right?
You have to, by example.
Yeah, by example.
But you have to
how you're behaving.
Yeah, you have to sometimes listen more.
Yeah.
And give other people an opportunity to, like, I can be very, especially in a setting like this, I don't know, assertive of my voice, right? So it's been a learning process to learn, to allow you to communicate.
Yeah.
In parallel to me.
But you do lead the show more, so it is. Sometimes it makes more sense for you to anyway
it's true,
be
but
the.
There needs to be a
know?
balance,
but,
you know.
Yeah.
But
I think the talk about feminism and all that, I feel like it is totally just leading by example. And
right. I think
action instead of just talking. Like, I think it's pretty cool that Teddy Fresh, 90% of our employees are actually female. And it's not, we didn't make the conscious decision. That's just, we just hired the best people that we found.
We only have one male employee.
Yeah. Well, actually two with Ben.
Oh, right, Ben, yeah.
But
I think that, you know, it's funny.
We didn't make the decision like, I want female.
No, that's ridiculous.
Company or, you know.
Well, also, and maybe this breaks the stereotype, our lead designer is a male. I don't know. You probably expect.
No, actually, designers are.
Is that a male-oriented? That's interesting. But the thing is, you know what we've also noticed? I feel like in the world of entertainment, or at least new media, I feel like you, in particular, are the perfect example of a strong, independent woman who has her own achievements and her own accomplishments under her belt. And whenever you see people getting accolades and recognition for being like a feminist or whatever, it's always these typical people that have made it super loud, and they try to make their whole identity about feminism and empowering women. But I don't know what they're doing exactly other than talking about it.
So
but I feel
talk.
and while you are actually living the life of a true, powerful, independent woman, nobody's even going to recognize you for doing that. Because
I don't talk about it.
Because you're doing what's actually impactful, which is living it, instead of just, screaming about how much of a feminist and tweeting about all these. No, you know what I'm saying? No one will ever acknowledge true hustle. But I think you transcend even the like you said, we don't think about things in that. The way that we and you think about things is really the way that I think we all need to strive to, is that by merits.
Yeah.
Not based on what outcome you want, but based on the merits itself. But that's not progressive enough, apparently, because you need to make chairs that force people to sit like this. Get a load of this guy. Well, I want to recognize you. I want to recognize you, Hila. You are a strong, independent woman. You're amazing.
Thank you.
That's what I always loved about you from the beginning. Independent, super intelligent, grounded.
I don't feel super intelligent.
Well, I mean, who does, really? I mean, who does, really?
I guess if you feel that way,
you're
it's kind of a problem.
Weirdo. Look, people always have throughout my life said that they think I'm intelligent. And I'm only saying that as anecdotal. I feel like a fucking idiot. I swear to God, I don't feel intelligent.
Okay.
I know that if I
think you're intelligent.
I know if I took an IQ test, I would score very low. I feel like I'm sure I would barely get over 100. I'm not that smart. I don't know why I give off that impression. I'm just not that smart. But anyway, here I am making about me, how dumb I am. But you're so capable, and you're so willing to go your own way, and you're so strong, and you're not swayed by perception and cultural things. You've always been very much your own person. And I think all the success you have is all just from your strength and independence.
Well, thank you. And it's always been a teamwork with us. So you've always enabled me to pursue all this stuff. So.
I don't know. Of course, dude. That's what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? Come on.
I think what it is, I actually, growing up, I've always I've seen my mom work. She was a stay-at-home mom for a while, but mostly with my siblings, not with me. And then I've seen her always work, and then when I wanted something, she would be like, okay, this month I can buy you one pair of jeans. I always wanted the brands. I prefer to buy less but spend more. Even though we didn't really have a lot of money. So she would be like, on the 15th I get paid, and this is how much I can spend on you. So on the 15th we'll go and whatever you want, but you get one thing.
That's awesome.
But I've always seen her work and what comes of it.
Right.
And I've always had this thought, I'm gonna earn money for myself so I can buy whatever I want. I'm not gonna have some guy, giving me money and me
of course,
living at his so that's always been in my mind since being a kid.
Yeah. Because your mom led by example. Your mom came from a very traditional household, and she decided she was going to enter the workforce with no qualifications.
Yeah.
And just and earn her own keep in a very conservative household. Your dad probably didn't even want her to work. I don't know. Yeah, right? Your dad didn't even want her to work.
And the funny thing, but at the end, towards my dad's last years, she was the only one actually working and providing.
Isn't that the best? It's motherfucker didn't even want her working, and here she is supporting his ass. But that's, that's a real strong woman who breaks convention to do what's best for her, and she led by example, and that's
Yes.
the best lesson. You can say words are seriously wind. Like you can have all the wisdom and say all the right things, but it will go out one ear and out the other. It is weightless. It means nothing in the face of actually living an example. I mean, that's what it's all about for kids. I think I always wanted a stronger. My mom is strong in some ways, but she also went out and made a good living and worked and supported herself, which was good. Which was a really good example, I think.
Yeah.
Which is probably why I favor someone like that. But moreover, my dad was always just such a dick to her all the time and very demeaning to her of me growing up. Like she doesn't know how to use the remote, so instead of just helping her, it turns into this whole thing about like treating her like she's an idiot. And it's like always that and that and that and that and that and that. And I guess you can learn, one of two ways, right?
Yeah.
And I never wanted to. One of the best things I ever heard was the best thing a man can do for his kids is to respect their mother. And I don't feel like my dad ever really respected my mom. And I feel like it really was not healthy as a young man to see that. Somehow I came out of it with what I think is the right idea, because I've always been attracted to women that I have a deep respect for. So I think I was actively looking for a relationship unlike theirs. They're still together, happily married.
Yeah, they're
Not that serious, but
they are like loving couple. It's not like they're
it
not.
used to be worse. But but again, so my mom, she's crazy too. Like these people are fucking insane, especially back in the day. Like God, but you really just words are worthless, man. They are worthless. You have to live it to teach it, and then you don't have to speak a single word.